Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of this Norwegian striker, Erling Haaland. Apparently he's quite good and in demand. A lot of speculation about his future at the moment. Let's just get it straight. What does your gut tell you? He's going to be at Dortmund for the start of this season, then go next year? Is that it? Simple? We never have to talk about him again?
That is the gut feeling, and we said it all along. This summer, it's Dortmund who will decide where they want to play. Next season with the clause, it's Team Haaland, including Erling, including his father, including Raiola, who decides that. But we said it all along that Chelsea have him as their main target, and they would like to test Dortmund with a fantasy offer, and the fantasy offer will be around 150 million euro. That is more likely double what he can get. They can get next summer for him. So it's interesting to follow, but most likely, and your safe money will have him stay. And Dortmund say that all the time. He will stay. He will stay. They said that about Sancho 1 year ago, and he stayed. So it's most likely that he will be also Dortmund player coming this season. But we still wait for that big offer from Chelsea Football Club.
You talk about this fantasy offer, Jan. 150, if you're Abramovich and they want 175, you'll just give it to them, won't you? Because you've got the money in the bank. Obviously, we know this summer financial fair play is lax, to say the least. Then why don't they just do it now?
Yeah, they could do that, and I think that we can all agree. The likelihood, if it's happened, we don't know. With the players they're having, they are missing this number 9, and I'm sure if Erling Haaland came to Chelsea, he would score 30 goals, 100%, because they create so many chances, but they don't have the natural number 9, the natural goal scorer. But I think a lot of people are a bit careful in this market, and the reason we are talking about Chelsea and Manchester City now with Kane, with Erling Haaland, is maybe they are the only clubs who can get that kind of money between 150, 175, whatever. But let's see what's happening. I don't think that is the last time we'll talk about him, Dan, although I've lost my middle name, Jaden, now after he went to Manchester United.
Tomorrow, I believe we'll be talking about it again.
But if you're Chelsea, you need a striker.
Well,
yes. That's blatantly obvious.
They need a striker like Jan needs a new top. I thought that's how we were going to start.
Cost a bit more, though.
I thought that's how we were going to start the show, Jan, because that's an absolute belter. And they tell us that Norwegians know how to dress.
Who says that?
What we do know about Craig Burley, when he says a bad top, you know he's a good top. That is what I've learned after 1 year.
Listen,
no, it's not yet.
Even Stevie Nicol wouldn't wear that.
No, it's not.
No, listen. Look. I think Tuchel's banging on the ownership of or his number 2 and the hierarchy and saying, yes, we had success last year. Yeah,
This record is telling, isn't it? Obviously, Giroud has gone.
Yeah.
Who's getting you
but I think what he's doing is banging and saying, look, we had the Champions League final and we had some good results and we could have possibly had an FA Cup. But if we want to go 38 games and compete in all these competitions and we want to be the top dogs in England again, then Man City and Liverpool have set the standard and we're going to have to go and really push the boat out here if we want to overhaul. If we all think Man City are the favourites, and that's kind of the way it looks still, then this is what we need to do. And look, he had an ownership and an owner who it looked like a couple of years ago, 18 months ago, was losing a bit of the desire.
Bored,
I'm fed up putting that money in and I'm not allowed in the country and blah, blah, blah. And then he went and he gave Lampard a pile of new signings and, Tuchel's come in, he trusts him, they trust him, he's delivered excellently in his very short period. He's shown what a good manager he is. And that was the big question. Off the back of the success he'd had at certain places was coming in here, what could he do? Answered that. Now go and give me that money to get me the hottest property in world football.
Yeah.
If he does, they are absolutely up there with, I think, Man City as the favourites.
Yeah,
that's how much a difference this guy would make.
As Jan says, 30 goals a season.
Oh, God.
And that's not exaggerating.
No, it's not.
So if you're Chelsea, just do it, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, but that's if you're Chelsea. As Jan rightly points out, this is down to Dortmund, and it's not the first time they've kind of held out just to make their mark and let everybody know who's in charge. Remember, they let Lewandowski go on a free as opposed to sell him on the cheap with a year left on his contract not so long ago. So that's how Dortmund do their business. You understand, and you have to respect that. If you're Chelsea, absolutely yes. You keep pushing just a little bit more, and continue to test Dortmund's resolve. Because if Erling Haaland delivers 30 goals a season, and you think he will, I see Chelsea being up alongside, really competing for the Premier League title.
Right.
On the other side of that same coin, you wait 12 months and he's available for 75 million. I'm not so sure that Chelsea are top of the list in terms of where Erling Haaland goes. And as a result, you need a striker this right now to give you goals. How much is that going to cost you? Who is that? Because there aren't that many sitting anywhere near that class available.
Let me put it another way, just briefly. We're going to talk about certain players on this show that might be going places. We've talked about Harry Kane before. We've talked about Lewandowski. Great players, right? Get you goals. Cost a lot of money. Coming up towards 30, and Lewandowski's already, I think, 32. Whatever any club pays for this guy is a great deal. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because if he doesn't get, hopefully, touch wood, he stays clear of injury and he continues on this same path, you're spending 150 to 200 million, if that's what it is, on years of goals. Not a season or two. Yeah. On years of goals. Maybe even 10 years, potentially, for your club. If he stays fit. So I don't think there's... if it was 200 million, Jan, I would say, if I had the money, I would go and do it because I'm buying 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 seasons of who knows how many goals.
I think it's interesting to boys to have a look at what's happening after the pandemic, because Bayern Munich said now that we have losses of 150 million euro. I mean, this is bad times, and Dortmund with an average of 81,000 every game. You can only imagine how much money they've lost. And then they got some of the money back now by selling Jadon Sancho. So I still think there is a chance that this could happen. And if you see it from the point of view of Chelsea, the management of Chelsea, because it's not like you can always just give a call to Abramovich and say, we need that money, we need this player. If you have a look at them with Tammy Abraham, Hudson-Odoi, Ziyech, or whatever, they will probably get... Should we say they will get half of a Haaland in transfer fee from other clubs? Some desperate clubs now at the end of a transfer period. So they have players to sell as well. So I think this could be a good business case for them. And then we haven't even started how much they're earning to be a Premier League contender and maybe win the Premier League. So I think this is a perfect striker for them. Just this last thing is, we haven't talked about Team Haaland. Does Erling Haaland wants to go to Chelsea? Mel, if you see that is someone who is up for it so much that they're going to break the bank to get him, I think that this will be a very, very good deal for everybody involved.
Well, we talked about this the other day. I mean, some clubs are driven by certain budget structures, and the pandemic affected them differently to others. Chelsea are not, I don't believe. Chelsea are not a club like most clubs. They're not driven by a certain financial structure. The financial structure is effectively the owner. Yep. And, you know, during this pandemic, whether we like it or not, there was a lot of really, really smart business people who made a lot of money. As markets were crashing and different things were crashing, people made a lot of money off things like that. So how do we know some of these guys didn't double or treble their wealth? Right. And can then just say, you know, okay, I'll put another couple of 100 million in, because, you know, a lot of people suffered, obviously, in this 12 to 18 months, but there's a lot of, I say, very astute business people pounced on the troubles that other businesses had, made a lot of money. Chelsea are not a business that makes money. You need to look at the books. When they don't make money, their owner puts more money in. And so I don't think the pandemic is going to drive what Chelsea are willing to pay. Chelsea are going to be willing to pay what the owner is willing to give them. It's as simple as that.
Jan, you mentioned Bayern Munich and their financial struggles. Kingsley Coman not happy with the offer that he's had, and he could be heading to Chelsea.
Well, at the moment, it looks like everybody are linked to Chelsea, because they have, like Craig saying, they don't have to follow the numbers that they do differently. The problem at Bayern Munich now, Dan, is that they have a problem with the wage structure, because and the players changing agents, and you have two players like Joshua Kimmich and Goretzka, whose contracts are up in 1 or 2 years, so they need to be extended, and they want to double their money because they know about this. Coleman as well, he knows what Lewandowski is on, he knows what Manuel Neuer is on, and that is the problem when you have that kind of structure in the club. I saw some reports today about Coleman and Hudson-Odoi swapping around. I think that we are overstating how good Hudson-Odoi is. I mean, he wouldn't get. I don't think he would get a lot of games playing for Bayern Munich at time being. But Bayern Munich have said all along that we won't pay a lot of money. We want extended contracts. They said to Alaba, no, you're not getting that money. You are going to Real Madrid. He's at Real Madrid now. And now they have the same problem because Alaba is earning a lot of money there. And my last point on that, Dan, is that Julian Nagelsmann started his first game now for Bayern in a friendly. They're losing against Cologne. And more players injured before the national players come in. There will be some pressure on Bayern to produce some money to give this young Mozart of football some good players.
Who dresses worse, you or Nagelsmann? Yeah. Just a reminder to keep up to date with all the latest transfer news. You can go over to the website and check it out.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.